nothing given to given by Palmer to Akif Javed.
And again, short of a length, but nothing exceptionable in that to umpire Palmer. It's the end of well, an over that was full of incident. Some of it not too pretty. Well, this is an unfortunate incident, and one that undoubtedly will bring in the international referee, which is Conrad Hunt. But the end of play will not necessarily mean the end of the day for these players after what we saw.
And he got with a slow ball. What could be more fitting? So triumph in the end for Akif Javed, who picked up Devon Malcolm for just 4. A good effort from Tim Munton, 25 not out. And an outstanding effort from England in general terms. Gooch 78 and Gower 73, dropped at 15, and in the process going past Geoffrey Boycott's record. Hick 22, a valuable partnership between Hick and Lewis batted splendidly. It's the best innings I've seen him play in the context of a test match. The bowling figures for Pakistan, it was a frustrating day for them. They missed those 4 chances, and with that went the possibility of making England follow on, and also went their opportunity of victory. Wasim Akram 5 for 128 from 36 overs and 4 maidens. Waqar Yunus 32 overs, 6 maidens, 1 for 96. Akif Javed 21.4 overs, 1 maiden, 4 for 100, but a frustrating day for him. And Mushtaq was ill-used today by his skipper, I thought. 10 overs, 1 maiden, none for 50. I thought he could have been bowled much more into the breeze from the Warwick Road end. That's the situation of the match at the close of play on the 4th day. Pakistan 505 for 9 declared, with Amir Sohail is 205. That does seem a long time ago. And England 390 all out just after 6 o'clock on this 4th day. Now, in the course of that innings, David Gower went past Geoffrey Boycott's record. This is the way the table of test run getters looks now. David Gower on top. These are the England players. 8,154. Geoffrey Boycott 8,114. Colin Cowdrey 7,624, and Graham Gooch playing in this match also 7,357. 15 runs ahead. So for England, no good news this morning from the point of view that Jack Russell was off the field. Alex Stewart will keep wickets. Russell has a stomach virus. We join play now with the second ball of the second over. Chris Lewis is the bowler. Amir Sohail taking strike, and 1 run is on the board.
Out. And Amir Sohail finding out just the ups and downs of Test cricket. A double 100 in 1 innings, followed by a single in the next. Yes, everything went right for him in the first innings. Whenever he played one of these strokes, it flashed away to the boundary, and this is just the difference. No 2 days are alike. New batsman Asif Mushtaba. Oh, that's a lovely delivery. Perhaps different overhead conditions have put something back into this pitch for the bowlers, but there's plenty happening.
Well, this is a beautiful delivery. Cuts back into the left-hander from outside off stump. He's got the angle to work on the left-hander. You see, pitches well outside, but he has to play it, because wide of the crease, that goes over the top of off stump. And I think Graham Gooch, the England captain, will be looking for a pretty good performance from Chris Lewis.
Well, this is easily Chris Lewis's best spell of the match. Ironically enough, when at the moment there's not too much in the match, but he's certainly hitting top form.
Yes, he's got the line so good and the length outside off stump, and Hick and Gooch at slip going down, half trying to get a catch, but the ball not carrying, and it beating both of them after it bounced and going to the boundary. A bit of bad luck for Chris Lewis, but it's best that the slips always look to go for the catch, and rather than think about saving runs.
Lovely shot. This is really stirring stuff because Pakistan have been in a little bit of trouble this morning. They lost that early wicket.
It was a fine shot there by Ramiz Raja. I mean, short of a length, a little bit wide, but certainly beautifully dispatched. Right on top of it, cracked away just behind square. Very attractive player to watch. In fact, Lewis may have got just a fraction of a touch on that, but certainly couldn't call that there's any chance at all.
And he looks pretty good to me. He's not what you'd call a fashionable batsman. He's a hard worker, but his technique is good. He looks to me to have a lot of courage. He's also very quick to seize on the loose delivery. Just like that.
Oh, nicely played. A little bit of tennis. But there has been high bounce. But Ramiz has not been bothered by the speed of it. And he just plunked it over the net. 4 runs. That's beautifully played. That was most elegant. And he waited for the ball. Beautiful. That's a lovely shot. Almost with disdain. Swayed onto the back foot. And that bottom hand came through pretty sharply. Well, I was going to say a great stop. I think it actually just hit Michael Atherton, and rather painfully too. Almost couldn't get out of the way.
Yes, I think that's what has happened. It did bounced awkwardly for him. He was, at least he did everything right. He got his body behind the ball.
So this is Munton now, to the left-handed Asif Mustafa.
Dropped him. Graham Gooch, knee-high. And that's the second chance that Munton's had put down in the match. And that was straightforward.
Well, I've said in the last few test matches, I think Graham Gooch, unfortunately, now is no more than a 50-50 man at slip, and that's not good enough at international level. This is a straightforward, simple slip catch as they go. Nice height, didn't have to turn the hands or anything, and he never even really got 2 hands on it. I think if you watch this closely, just his right hand gets to the ball. There you are. The left hand never came up with the right, just getting 1 hand on it. So that's a big disappointment for Tim Munton. Gooch did most of his bowling at the Stretford end in the first innings. Now he's going at the Warwick Road end. That's probably because the wind, as you can see it there, is blowing across the ground, which will help him bowl the outswinger.
That's 50 for Ramiz Raja. Started off throwing the bat around, but settled into quite a solid innings. .76 balls and the dreaded 111 minutes and 7 fours. So final over before the break, Salisbury to bowl it and Ramiz Raja on strike. Good shot. Wasn't a classical off-drive where the batsman leans into it. In fact, his weight was more or less on the back foot to give himself room to smash it as hard as he could.
Yes, he was a little bit full, really. He had to just lean back to give himself room, but it could have gone in the air, I suppose, with the shot he played, but it was a full-length ball and hit it pretty hard. So no worries about lunchtime for RAMIZ Raja. Still going for his shots.
Devon Malcolm is back over the wicket to RAMIZ Raja. That's a good shot. Beautiful stroke from RAMIZ Raja. He's played well throughout this innings. And that was a super shot. It looked quite deliberate to me.
Yes, this was superbly played by RAMIZ Raja. This is such a good true bounce pitch most of the time. The ball gets up big and just deliberately plays the upward cut over the top of slips.
Brings up the 100. Also the 100 partnership. Takes the lead to 216. Oh, lovely stroke there. Just stroked away. There was no real effort behind it, but an example of what timing can do. Got that, just enough bat on it, so another boundary for the little man. That's his 5th. Alex Stewart there now. He's keeping wicket today as a replacement. Just see this, only a top edge, that's all it was. Just had to get a little bit of bat on it, nobody around there. Perfectly safe. And gone for 4. But standing in, and it raises the possibility of him keeping wicket and being selected to do so at Headingley.
Well, still to be Chris Lewis. That's in the air, but it's a terrific clip off the pads, and it's 4 runs. It all looked very casual, but it was quite powerful.
Yeah, it was a lovely time of the ball, RAMIZ Raja. Again, it just helped in its way. A wristy flick, and away it goes for 4. Just by using the pace of the ball, let it come onto the bat, and then turn of the wrists, and away it goes.
Tim Munton is bowling from the Stretford end. Played purely on width, just a little bit wider, attracted RAMIZ Raja to play that square slashing cut. Substitute fielder Graham Lloyd retrieves the ball, but 3 more runs to RAMIZ Raja. Well, that's too much of a test, I'm afraid, for Alex Stewart, poor chap. The ball kept going further and further away from him.
Even more worrying is for second slip. As you see there, normally second slip tends to watch the edge of the bat. So if he's not watching the ball all the way down, that could just have rattled him under the knee.
Well, it was difficult to know how it got through Stewart, although it may momentarily have been unsided, but even more difficult to know how it missed the off stump. Gooch himself is on now. That's a remarkable piece of cricket from Devon Malcolm. Cameron made quite a decent save, a slight fumble, and then he threw it in from what seemed to be a kneeling position, almost over the top of the stumps, on the longest part of the ground. Got a beautiful pair of hands. That's a splendid catch from Graham Hick. It's well bowled by Lewis. Ramiz Raja out for 88. But that was a top-class catch from one of the best close-in catches in the world.
Yeah, it's a very good innings. Came to an end there by Ramiz Raja. Good line, good length. Didn't do a lot the ball. The catch. Excellent. People talk about Graham Hick's batting and not making too many runs, but they must never forget his catching. Very high quality catching.
It was a very good innings from Ramiz Raja. He's in good form in this series. Skipper. Let's see if Mustafa has lashed out at Lewis. Good shot. Picked it up nicely on the onside.
Yes, Asif Mustafa probably doesn't have the range of strokes of some of his illustrious colleagues.
Oh, well done. Well done. That's two really good catches taken to get rid of Ramiz Raja and Asif Mustafa. Michael Atherton at slip, following on Graham Hick, and now it's 148 for 3. 40 for Asif Mustafa, 157 balls, but a fine catch.
Yes, nice bowling by Chris Lewis. Good spell by him. Line the batsman wide and the ball quite low. Not easy for Michael Atherton. Got down quite quickly there. At one stage, it looked as if he might have been going the wrong way. Alim Malik, the new batsman. If you watch Michael Atherton here, how low he has to get down to the ball. And that catch by Michael Atherton just might be a pointer to who will fill slip for England in the next Test match at Leeds.
Very, very wide. Go down as 4 byes against Alex Stewart.
Well, most wicketkeepers are pretty agreed when they let byes through, but I don't think Alex Stewart could be too upset with that. It was way down the leg side and it just bounced a lot at the last minute.
2 new batsmen at the crease now. Javed Miandad is 1, Salim Malik 2.
That ball.
That's beautifully played. Only got a single for it. It's gone down to Tim Munton. What a lovely stroke, rolling his wrists over the ball there in the execution. Beautifully executed stroke once again. Salim Malik. Now at the Warwick Road end, it's going to be Ian Salisbury, the over-the-wrist spinner. Javed Miandad is just the fellow to counter any field placings out there. And once again, same spot. So that'll need an adjustment from Graham Gooch. He's slightly over-pitched and a beautiful stroke from Javed. Classic drive through extra cut. he's going to be a very tough customer for Salisbury to bowl to. He's such a wonderful improviser. I wouldn't think that was outside leg stump. Wonderful improvisation. Salisbury needs to keep working on his leg break. That is the stop ball for the over-the-wrist spinner, the right-hander. It needs to be to be able to pitch it exactly where he wants, so the batsman's not able to take liberties with it. So far, Javed has scored runs from Salisbury from balls that are actually quite good deliveries.
And as we see here, really there's nothing much wrong with the ball. It's just that when you're bowling to batsmen of this caliber at this level of cricket, the margin of error is so small. Here's Salisbury, who is learning how tough it is to play this kind of cricket. Certainly showed that he has the heart, he has the temperament, and the way he bowled in the first test that he played at Lords certainly shows that he is capable of lasting in this at this level of cricket, and I'm sure we will see more of him, and he'll be a much improved player. GOOCH, who got Salim Malik's wicket in the first inning.
It's one of the slowest of the slow balls, the change of pace.
And Salim Malik did well really to reach it and then to middle it.
That's a good shot. He hit it on the up, but it was such a beautiful, wristy stroke. Bowler for an instant would have thought he had a chance there. What a shot.
Certainly nothing wrong with the ball. In fact, it was a very good delivery. But Salim Malik on the up, waiting for the ball, and then not only timing it, but making absolutely sure of picking up the gap. 4 more runs to him, takes him to 16.
The captain has slipped one back between bat and pad. And he's gone down now to tell them about it. I'm not surprised. It's an absolute corker.
Well, he's done it again. I mean, I'm sure that's what he must be telling his colleagues, because in the first innings, very similar delivery, very similar shot, same result. And here again, Salim Malik bowled GOOCH 16. And I'm sure that's what GOOCH has gone to tell his colleagues. Ball coming in, made it look so simple through the gap. And in the first innings it was on the back foot, and here it's on the front foot.
Little inside edge. Just, well, it wasn't the inside edge of the middle stump, but it was right plumb bang in the middle.
He's been looking for that. And that's a big hit.
Well, I said I didn't think Wasamakin could restrain himself for too long against a leg spinner in a situation like this. And so it proved. Beautiful straight hit there.
With GOOCH. Oh, well. A good bit of slip fielding. That can only happen in the last hour of a dead test match. A bouncer with your keeper standing up.
In actual fact, he doesn't bowl a bad bouncer, doesn't GOOCH. He bowled in the first innings, but that was a brilliant take by Atherton, really. He'd already gone across when he saw the ball in there, and had to dive back to his left.
A good shot and a terrific attempt at a catch. Hit with enormous power.
Yes, a powerful strike this by Wasim Akram. Not easy, those catches above your head when they're going quickly, because with your hands above your head you can't give so easily. You cushion the impact of the ball into your hands.
Out, and he's got another wicket. And Graham Gooch really has bowled with great intelligence. He really has, because he's varied his pace and line, mixed up the in-swinger, the away swinger, thrown in an off-spinner. We've seen one bouncer, and there's a second wicket for him, and his 5th wicket in the match.
Well, it was beautifully bowled by Graham Gooch, slightly slower, little outswing there, just drifting away, attempting Wasim Akram to flash it a quite wide delivery. A nice, easy, simple, almost slow motion catch for Michael Atherton. New batsman, Moin Khan.
Moin Khan taking that long hop as a present. Didn't middle it, but worth 3.
Well, that's quite right. When you come into bat, you've got to take the runs as they come. Well, this is a nice shot, uses his feet really well. It should have been stopped, but the youngster, young Lloyd there, fielding it, or misfielding it, a little lack of concentration.
And a short one. Moin Khan, he's prepared to have a go at them, but he hasn't middled either of the 2 he's had. Nice little cut from the Pakistan captain. Tim Munton just won't get there. That might be the end of the match. Let's see what Javid's going to do, and he is. So Javid has applied the declaration, which is purely a technical one, and a very low-key finish to a match that had plenty of high points, plenty of excitement, and some unsavoury incidents nearly 24 hours ago.
Indeed there were, but we'll come back to those a little later. Pakistan's second innings, 239 for 5. Amir Sohail out for 1, one of only 3 players to make a double century in the first innings and a single in the second of a test match. Ramiz Raja played really well for his 88, Asif Mushtaba for 40. Javed Miandade remained unbeaten on 45, Salim Malik 16, Wasim Akram 13, and Moin Khan at the end had an unbeaten 11. 25 extras, 239 for 5, and the bowling figures for England, an outstanding effort from Lewis, 3 for 46, and Gooch once again taking wickets and bowling well where not everyone else was able to do so. Salisbury will have gained experience there, 13 overs, no maiden, none for 67. So this is the story of the match, or the statistical story of the match. Pakistan 505 for 9 declared, and 239 for 5 declared, and England 390 all out. The match drawn, Pakistan lead the series 1-0 in the light of that splendid win they had at Lord's over England in the very exciting 4-day game. Well, they had a setback today because the match referee Conrad Hunt fined them for a very slow over rate Their rate was 12.41 against England, who were not fined at all, but 12.41 is appalling rate, and they were fined 40% of their match fee. Lucky to get away with that because they were actually down about 15 overs, and it was reduced to 8, so they can count themselves fortunate there. The match referee also issued an adjudication on yesterday's unsavoury incidents referred to by Jack Bannister a little earlier. The Pakistan fast bowler Aqib Javed has been fined 50% of his match fee by Conrad Hunt following the incidents on the field on Monday evening. 75% is the maximum he could be fined, so Conrad Hunt got that right. The match referee has severely reprimanded the tour cricket manager Intikhab Alam for his comments to the press concerning allegations that the Pakistan players were insulted by the umpire Roy Palmer throwing the bowler's sweater back to him. And I can tell you that this was the last ball of the over where these incidents took place. Now umpire Palmer goes away. He gets the sweater caught in the band he has there, gives it back to Aqib Javed. And if you're going to take offence at anything, then I suppose that's as good a thing to do. Now Javed is in on the act, and it was said by Conrad Hunt that the sweater was handed back by umpire Palmer in a perfectly proper manner, and there was a severe reprimand for Intikhab Alam, and he was lucky to get away with that. He jumped in very quickly last night on the basis that attack is the best method of defence and divert the enemy if you possibly can. That's precisely what he did. He got 7 out of 10 for that, but only 3 out of 10 for the actual content of what he said, and he got, I suppose, about 3 out of 10 for it from Conrad Hunt as well. Other matters in the adjudication by Conrad Hunt were that Javed Miandad, the captain of the Pakistan team, has been firmly encouraged to ensure that his players maintain the spirit of the game both on and off the field. That's admirable, but I'm not quite sure what it all means. Mr. Hunt also addressed this point with England's captain Graham Gooch, and I have no idea what he's talking about there. I don't know what England had to do with it. Tim Munton was out there minding his own business in his first test match, and I don't know why Gooch's name has been mentioned. And then the referee said the umpire is perfectly within his rights to interpret the bowling as he did, that there was a clear violation of the ICC Code of Conduct by Aqib Javed, and the bowling was used in intimidatory fashion at the England number 11, Devon Malcolm. So that's all absolutely right. And also there was, at the end, a piece saying that the crowding of the umpire and remonstrating with him was not in the spirit of the game. And why that was said and then nothing done about it, I'm absolutely, well, it's beyond my comprehension. And I can tell you that it just confirms my view of the ICC as a weak and pussyfooting organisation, which they've been for a long, long time. So it's certainly been a match not without incident, and at the conclusion of play on this final day, the Cornhill presentation ceremony took place.
Roy Palmer. And David Shepherd.
To take 5 wickets. Unpopular after all. But this award goes to a young man playing in just his 3rd test match. He made a magnificent double century on the first day, and I think we'll see a lot more of my Cornhill man of the match, Amir Sahel.
So let's take a look at this.